This is Breachway. The game that I think it's probably closest to in my recent experience is Cobalt Core. It's an FTL-like game where you're journeying through space on a spaceship with a crew, and you get into these one-on-one battles with ships. Only instead of it being sort of a move your people around tactical game like FTL, it's more of a card-based roguelike, kind of like Cobalt Core. But they handle the cards and sort of the construction of the ship in a slightly different way from Cobalt Core. And definitely, they don't do the sort of, sliding the ships back and forth tactical space thing that they do in Cobalt Core. It's got its own thing going on, but it's really interesting. And I had a lot of fun in the tutorial last night. Of course, last night I played about 12.5 different Next Fest demos, so I've forgotten a lot, so we're going to be rediscovering this together. But what I'm doing is, after I completed the tutorial run, it moved me on into another run in a more legitimate setting. And so this is my first real run through the game that I'm hitting the continue button on. So this is a Next Fest demo, by the way, so I'm expecting there won't be that much in here. And of course, it's pre-release, so expect there might be bugs and stuff. But, okay, so we've got a ship. It's this ship. It looks like this. And I have got crew members. I've got Ivan Bronco here. I've got some AI that can, fire a gun. I've got Rin Seidel, my tactical officer, and Lena Starling, also a tactical officer. And each of these people is in charge of a different piece of equipment, like my pulse laser, my barrier shield, and my res booster. Resource booster, that's what that is. And then each of these, you'll notice, has got a series of cards, a set of cards that it offers me in combat. And so as I upgrade my ship, I'll be slotting in mods to these, I'll be unlocking new cards for these. So basically, when you're sort of outfitting your ship and choosing what weapons and systems you have, where you're choosing, it's almost like choosing your magic deck, where it's like you're saying, okay, I want to have some stuff from this set, some stuff from that set, and I'm strategically putting them together to make a deck that is mutually complementary and represents my strategy. And that's kind of what you do by installing this equipment. You're deciding different pieces of your deck that are going to be shuffled together and used in combat. So let's hit leave and get into the actual game and see how this stuff works in practice. By the way, I've got no idea where the right place for my head is on this screen. So, like, right now, I'm, like, hiding some resources. I don't think they're very important resources. But when we get into a tactical game, we'll try to figure out where my head actually belongs. So, it looks like the very so, one thing to bear in mind, this map, it's got different factions on it. You'll see that there is a blue faction over here. There's a green faction over here and over here. There's a gold faction over here that apparently also has a station over on this side. And it looks like there's an unaligned space, some faction over here. So the Solari dislike me. They are going to try to get into fights with me. The Starkin, or whatever, these guys are neutral, which means that I think that they might get into conflict with me sometimes and might not. These guys, the free roamers, they're my allies. So I should expect friendly interactions with them. But you look like, these guys, they can spread out a little bit so that even though I can predict some neutral people here, some hostile people here, and some allied people here, that's not the only encounters I'm going to be having. Like, there's some hostile people right behind them, right? So if I want to, but I think that it means that if I want to have a slightly easier run, I could probably turn right rather than turning left. No matter what, I'm going to have to fight somebody who doesn't like me at the end, though. So it's not like I can eliminate all danger. And this is just me talking based on what they're showing me. I could be wrong about how this works. I have not played through one of these maps yet. But there's a neutral blockade here that I have to deal with. Busy with trying to prevent civilians from fleeing the system, only one gunship has noticed our approach. It's headed our way on an intercept course. Okay, there's a blockade. I have to fight these people. I hope it doesn't mess with my faction too much, though. We'll have to see. So here's the enemy ship. And it looks like, so the way it works is the enemy ship actually has different rules from me. I have a deck where I need to choose each turn exactly which cards I'm going to play. Each card has got a cost in energy, but it's different kinds of energies. So you've got 3 red energy and 2 green energy. That means it'll cost 3 of this and 2 of that in order to use the catalyst pulse. The barrier costs 3 green and 1 blue. So that's 3 from here and 2 from there. I can actually decide just like if you're playing X-Wing, I can decide how much energy to devote to all of these. See these incomes? +3, +2, +1? I can decide to, for instance, have 0 coming in of the blue, but 4 coming in of the red. So I'm going to leave it right here for now because I think this is sort of the recommended division based on my, based on the typical deck that you'll have with this ship. But as things go, if I, for instance, brought on a whole ton of, say, defensive cards and like I had a largely defensive strategy, that means I would probably want to reduce my red and increase my my green to pay for it. So that's a thing I don't think I've ever actually seen in one of these deck building games. But the other thing is, so that's how I work like a traditional deck builder. The enemy has just got specific cards that will be played at a specific cadence. So you'll see this little, there's 2 little pips here. So right now, only one of them is full, so it's not going to fire a laser this next turn. Here, it's not going to fire a shield pulse this next turn. But next turn, it's going to fill that pip up by 1, and that means the following move it's going to make is going to be to laser pulse me. So I've got time to plan ahead and decide what to do about that laser pulse. So right now, because it's not happening next turn, I'm not going to try to throw out my shields or anything like that. One thing, energy does carry over from turn to turn. So if I've got something like a capacitor here, it depletes, but I don't have to save this necessarily because once I gain this 4 energy, I'm going to keep it for as long as I want. I don't think, at least right now, I've never encountered anything that just depletes it randomly and makes me regret this kind of move. So I'm definitely going to do that. And now I've just got crazy amounts of green energy. I don't need it yet, but clearing out a space in my hand in front of me is actually a good idea. So Catalyst Pulse, what that does is it fires a laser, but then it also makes other lasers do more damage. The problem is I can't actually fire another laser this turn because each of them costs 3 and I only have 5. However, I do also have... Yes, but I've got Lena here. And if I click on her, she will give me an extra 2 of every resource. But that costs me 4 command points and I only have the 4 command points. So I have to decide, is getting a little bit of extra damage in on the ground floor before this fight really begins worth using all of my command points at once? And I'm deciding it is. So I trigger that. That gives me 2 of every resource, which means I can fire Catalyst Pulse. By the way, pulse lasers fire at specific systems. So overall, so I can also damage these individual cards in addition to damaging the overall ship. And this is sort of the defense of the card. So I'm thinking, even though it has more defense, I think that this laser pulse, taking it out will take out their offensive capabilities, and that's very good. So I'll do 4 damage to it now, takes it down to 8, and also takes the overall hull damage down by 4. Then I'll fire a second laser pulse at it, taking it down by 5 because of the way it stacks with the Catalyst Pulse. So now it's only got 3 left, so I only have to get 1 more laser pulse card in my hand, which is why I'm glad that I spent the Catalyst, because that leaves 3 open spots in my hand, 3 shots at me getting a laser pulse next turn. But I think that's everything I want to do right now, so I'll hit end turn. This guy, he fills up his pips, so now there's a laser pulse coming next move. So, luckily, I've got a laser pulse, and I can afford to fire it. So I'm going to fire it and take out his lasers. So now he's got a 3-turn cooldown on those lasers while he repairs them, and he does not get to attack me. And then conservation... Oh, crap. Okay. So, if I wanted to gain more green power, I could have spent this at the beginning. And gotten more, but that was dumb. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna get rid of one of these barriers, and actually, I mean, I don't need green power, so I'm gonna get rid of this too. The reason I'm getting rid of them is so that I have more space for more useful cards next turn, because it looks like my best move right now is to try to offensively take him down as fast as I can before he gets his offense up and running. Now, he's gonna be putting up a shield fairly soon, but not this turn. So, okay, next turn he's throwing up a shield pulse, which is gonna be hard to penetrate. And, oh, I only drew the 1 laser pulse this turn. Okay. I'm actually... Oh! So another thing to bear in mind, this doesn't work like a lot of other deck builders where you basically just fill your hand every turn. Instead, cards have cooldowns. And like this one's got a cooldown of 2, which means if you spend a lot of cards really fast, but they all have long cooldowns, you might end up with very few cards in your hand for a while. So I don't think I can affect the laser pulse with this. I think that it's going to keep repairing. But I can do some damage to the shield pulse. I don't think that's going to help me, really, but I got to fire somewhere, so we'll do that. So now they're throwing a shield up. So now they've got 4 shield. So I've got to carve through 4 shield to get to them, which makes me want to kind of maybe delay my attack a little bit. So they're going to repair their laser pulse next turn. So shield gets halved every turn. And so they'll have much less resistance next time. And because I retain my cards, I will again... Oh, yeah, especially... Oh, another thing. I can't fire both of these cards in one turn right now because I don't have any command points left, so I can't use Lena's boost. And I only have 4 red energy, but I'm getting 3 more next turn. And actually, I've barely been using this. I can get 4 next turn if I want to. So, like, I've got more green than I could ever use. Oh, but I can't actually... Whatever. Okay, so now I'm gonna have 8 next turn. I'll be able to definitely fire both of these plus something else. And I'll be able to throw up a barrier against their laser pulse, which will be coming the turn after. So I think we've got a good setup here. And I'll get 1 more card into my hand, too. It's another barrier. Okay, so laser pulse is now ready. So it's going to deal 4 damage to me. But my barrier gives me 6 shield points. So we're going to put up a barrier. That's going to insulate me from their attack. And now you notice their shield has gone down by 2. Next turn... They're going to put up the shield again. So let's see here. So this is going to do a total of 9 damage. If I fire at them right now, I will just barely not kill them. But I think inevitably, if I wait till the next turn and the shield halves again, I'll take them out in that turn. So since I'm going to take them out in that turn anyway, I'm going to be a weirdo and annoying, and I'm just going to not fire at them. I'm going to take their hit with my shield. But then their shield goes down to 1, and now I can Catalyst Pulse them and Laser Pulse them and Splode them. So my rewards are 27 currency, and I gain a card. So now each of my pieces of equipment has got a specific progression of cards that it unlocks. And so I just decide which one I'm going to grab. Ordnance Surge, where basically I forgot what Heat does. Heat's bad, but okay. But basically, okay. So this basically means that I can, if I have this card, I can fire a bunch of weapons really fast, but then I will lose most of my anything that's left over. And this one deal 3 damage 2 times. Okay, so this is a more powerful laser than the other ones, but it's also more expensive to fire. Let's grab this one though. I do like being a glass cannon. All right, so that battle was a perfect victory. That's not going to keep happening, but let's go to the next level of the blockade here. The last fight drew the attention of everyone in the area. Multiple ships are approaching, but only one is close enough to get into combat range. Okay, new fight. Different ship? Same ship? Let's see. Oh, no, okay, different ship. So barrier is... Okay, this is a tougher ship. It gets more shield. Or is that the same amount of... It gets some shield. This one... It gives me heat. I forgot what heat does. We'll probably find out what heat does, because they're probably going to do it to us. So in 2 turns, we're going to get a beam sweep hitting us, which means... Yeah, we'll have to be ready. So I can fire a Catalyst Pulse and a Paired Pulse. So this says pulse cards do +1 damage. Does that mean a Paired Pulse will do +1 damage twice? Because if so, amazing. And so that means I'm about to spend... Okay, let's do... Oh, but I can't do that. Because I haven't earned enough. So I earned command points very slowly on a meta level across multiple fights. And so I have not got enough command points yet to use her ability again. So I can't burst up to 7 here. Which means I kind of want to save these, because this one... will do 2 more damage if it happens after the Catalyst Pulse, but that means firing both in the same turn. And it makes me want to... I think I want to do absolutely nothing this turn. I think I want all of these things. So I'm just going to end my turn. We're just going to bide our time. Let them charge up a little bit. Let our stuff charge up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to fire Conservation, which means that I gain... Basically, I gain an advantage from spending red power. Then I'm going to Catalyst Pulse them on their Beam Sweep. And then Paired Pulse them, which does 4 damage 2 times. Because, yeah, the damage got upgraded, but it's a double attack. and that knocks out their weapons so they can't attack me. And so I was holding onto the barrier just in case I needed it, but actually the math lined up. I don't need this barrier. I don't have any cards coming off cooldown next turn, but my draw pile still has 4. Okay, so I think I mean that I'm still going to fill up these 3 slots, but then my draw pile is going to be emptying out. I'm going to need cards to come off cooldown. I think this worked, though. So let's end the turn. So one thing, by the way, this makes the enemies look very, very predictable, right? Because they just keep recycling these same cards. That's not true for every enemy. Some enemies, after they fire one card, will fire a different card in the same slot. So the enemies are not 100% predictable. The early enemies are very predictable. But as you get deeper into the game, that becomes significantly less so. Okay, so next turn, they're going to throw up a barrier. I don't think there's any downside to just using this, so I'm going to use it. I don't need to have 2 barriers. No, actually, wait, I can only draw one. Okay, that was dumb, getting rid of that barrier card. I was thinking, oh, I'm making room in my hand for other cards. There's only 1 card that could come in next turn. So, no, I just wasted that, but whatever. I guess we'll fire a laser pulse at them while we can, before their barrier gets up there, and end turn. Okay, so they've got a barrier just like ours. They've got 6 shield now, so, I mean, there's no point in me shooting at them, so I'm not going to shoot at them. 4 cards are joining my draw pile, and it is those cards? Wait, what? I don't know. Oh, wait, no, I see. Okay, so these cards. These are the ones that have 1 cooldown. And then these are the 2 that are already in my hand. Got it. Okay. So I think I'm doing nothing this turn. Next turn, they're going to hit me with a beam sweep. Luckily, I got my barrier. But the ignite effect, I assume, happens regardless. So I'm going to have to deal with whatever ignite does. Because I don't think I'm taking this down again this turn. Okay, so their barrier is still up. They've only it halved in scale, though, so it's only 3. So I could shoot at them. I've got 7. And actually, yeah, I could destroy their next barrier. Let's see here. This is going to do 6 damage total. This will do... Yeah, so total of 9. So yeah, so I think I can't take down their beam sweep again. So I'm going to have to deal with the beam sweep. But that's okay. I can afford to do all of this stuff. So let's do a paired pulse at the barrier.
Enemy shields down.
Oh, right. Their shield's blocked a little bit. So, okay, so I need to also do my laser pulse at the barrier. So that's going to avoid their shields going up. And then I'm going to barrier myself to absorb at least the damage from their beam sweep. But the ignite effect is going to happen, I think. It didn't happen. Oh, if you block all the damage, ignite doesn't happen? Because I think ignite would have happened... You saw it not happen down here to my heat. So I guess... Yeah. Okay, so in this case, I think they've got no shields. They've got 2 hull... Yeah, I think I can just nail them. Alright, and I can add another card. Echo Pulse. Deal 4 damage. Return a laser card from the discard pile to your hand. Cannot return itself. Okay, so there's a scenario where you want to do Catalyst Pulse, then another one, then Echo Pulse, or something like that. What's Rampart? Oh, wait. There's not a specific progression of cards. There's just a set of backup cards that can be offered, but it's different every time. Gain 10 shield points. If you're unshielded, gain 1 duration. Okay, so basically, so this is a fancy shield that also will last longer if I am unshielded at the time I throw it up. And this... Oh, okay, so this gains me a whole bunch of... a bunch of green power, but loses the ability. So, actually, so if I wanted to gain more offensive power, I think I would need to gain more offensive resources. So I think I'm going to go with Rampart. Okay. So, now what? We're going to go here to where it starts branching. After we breach the blockade, multiple ships try and make a run and exit the system. As we mix in with a group of civilian vessels, the Stark and gunship can break off pursuit and focus on keeping the fleeing ships in. Incoming message request, Captain. It's impossible to isolate the source with so many ships grouped together. Greetings, Captain. Impressive skills you've shown there. I could use the services of a bold freelancer such as yourself. I'm a data broker by trade, willing to offer a generous reward in exchange for some valuable intel. Oh, this is the elusive man? I need to gather data on the most powerful gunships in the sector. All you need is to send your combat logs to specified coordinates after fighting 2 elite ships, and I'll transfer 150 credits on delivery. What's an elite ship? Oh, and Captain, pick a weapon from my reserves while you're at it. You'll need all the firepower you can get. Consider it an investment in your future. Okay, so I'm taking a launcher. So I'll need to assign somebody to install that weapon. Okay, so these are conflict zones among the deadweights who don't like me. But these are space station. Elite combat. Elite combat. Okay. So if I want to fight 2 elite vessels, that probably means going up this way and then jumping sideways over there. So you have to basically, so the rule is you have to progress forward on the blue paths, but you can progress either direction on the yellow paths. So you can like take little side tours and stuff like that. But once you're on the blue path, you have to keep moving forward. So if I want to do 2 elite fights, I think, yeah, there's only a couple of ways I can do it. But I think this, bouncing through there, is probably the best way. So I'm going to aim for that. First, though, let's open up our ship. We got a basic missile rack here. It's got to go in the launch bay. Can I move my... Okay, so I don't have a 4th character, but I've got AI that can fire it. I think it won't work unless I've actually got a person of some kind installed there. So let's put AI on it. And so this will be firing missiles. Missiles are weapons that attack on a delay. I think they're sometimes a little cheaper than other weapons to fire, but the enemy gets a chance to resist them. Sometimes they're like PDCs and things. PDCs? What's it called? It's like point defense cannons. Some people have point defense cannons that make it harder to fight them with missiles. So, okay, cool. So that's our ship. So let's go this way. Deadweight conflict zones are impossible to police with the limited resources of the local factions. A deadweight ship is locked onto our drive signature and is approaching. Combat! I mean, most of these are going to be combat. Okay, so this is a different style of ship with different attacks. So SAP will reduce your shield duration. If it's already at 0, have their shield points instead. Okay, so they're gonna be eating my shields basically at the same time that they're firing a laser pulse. Okay, so the best thing I can do is get these 2 off track from each other, because if they're on track with each other, then basically all of my attempts to defend against them are going to be messed up by the SAP. So what are our options? Okay, so now I've got more command points now than I had before. So I could fire a paired pulse, which will do 6 damage, and then I can do 3 damage. I can't take out one of these things entirely this turn. And even doing that much would require me to use, like, all of my offensive energy. So I'm going to... I think I don't need much more than this. Like, I don't use a lot of resources, a lot of the blue resource. So I'm going to drop this down and get more offensive stuff next turn. They don't have any shields, though, so I don't feel like I need to time my attacks. I can basically do all of these at once if I want to. Actually, yeah, okay, so here's what we're going to do. This does 6 damage, but it does broad damage. It doesn't do, like, targeted damage. So I'm going to fire this. So now it's on its way, but it's going to take a turn before it lands. That opens up a spot here. And next turn I'm going to have 7, so I'll be able to fire both of these pulses next time, or whatever else goes into my hand. I think I'll hold on to conservation for when I spend all of that stuff. And then I'll hold on to barrier, because I'll need something. So, okay, let's see how this works. End turn. So they just fill up their pips. They don't do anything else. Oh, okay, so my missile hit them immediately. Did broad damage to them. Wait, oh, SAP is... Why is SAP suddenly at 5? That's weird. It's Oh, did my missile do damage to this system at random? So I can't target it. I can't target a missile, but it will still damage systems. That's the thing I didn't realize. Okay, so in that case, I might be able to take down their sap right now. Yeah, okay, so let's kick in conservation to collect some resources from this. Let's do a paired pulse on that. Take it down. Let's do another laser pulse on this. Not take it down all the way. But now I'll throw up my shields. That'll put up 6, and sap is not going to take them down. And also, sap is now, it's got a 3-turn cooldown, which I think means that'll put it off rhythm with laser pulse. And so they won't be firing at the same time. And that makes this guy pretty much useless, which is great. So let's end the turn on that. And actually, I think I only need this green resource in multiples of 3, because that's what my barrier shields do. So I'm gonna... Oh, except I can't. Never mind, might as well grab it. I just realized I don't have any more capacity. I need to upgrade my reactor, basically, to get more capacity for offensive income. So let's just go with this. This guy's like, whoops. So he's firing at me, but my shield absorbs it, so no big deal. So now, okay, I've got a catalyst pulse, which I want to save until I can fire it at the same time as a regular old laser pulse. His laser's not going to fire next turn. So I'm going to fire a star flare at him, which will hit him next turn. At the beginning of next turn, I'm going to hold on to my rampart. And next turn, I'm going to lose my last shield. So I'm going to hold on to my rampart so that I can fire it when I need to really raise my shield. And actually, rampart, because it does 10 shield points, even if it gets sapped, it'll still defend against a laser pulse. So we're good. So I'm just going to... I might not even need my barrier, except... Yeah, I'm going to get two cards next turn, so I'm going to get rid of barrier. All right. So, never a reason not to do capacitor, so I'm just going to do that. But I don't think I'm going to need it. He's only got 8 left. And so I think if I do a catalyst pulse on him and then a laser pulse, that'll be 4 damage plus 5. Actually, I don't even need to do the catalyst first. I just want to. So let's do that. Take out his lasers. Take out his lasers again, but take out his entire ship. And I get to add another card. Firecracker Missile. Deal 2 damage 3 times. So it's the same amount of damage. It's the same amount of damage. So I guess if I get something that increases the damage of my missiles, that'll work. But add 1 reactor power and add... Nah. Blinding Pulse. Next turn, enemy attacks deal -2, like less damage. So this is it's another pulse, so it means it's affected by Catalyst Pulse. And it's expensive, but I've been overclocking my my green resources anyway. So I can afford to do this. Okay. Here's a waypoint with some people who dislike me. Everything's quiet. Here's a space station with people who are neutral towards me. Our sensors pick up a Starkin station up ahead. What are our orders? Let's dock with the station. We can enter the hangar. Crew activities are... I guess we'll enter the hangar? I'm not quite sure what happens here. Okay. Okay, so I can repair. Don't need to. Or this is a repair kit. Oh, these are things I can buy. Like a light laser. Now I can mount, like, I don't have enough crew though. How do I get more crew? So this is something I could install on a railgun specifically. Okay, I only have 150, so I could buy the repair kit for the engineering bay. Do I have an engineering bay? I don't think I have an engineering bay. So these are mods, basically, that fit into these little slots here. But I don't think any of these are appropriate for me. And, well, some of these might be cool. I think I need crew in order to use them. So I think I'm not going to buy them. Let's leave there. Can I still do crew activities? Because I don't know what those are. Okay, so CFT is saying, oh, by the way, hi CFT, thanks for joining my chat. Says that crew activities might be a place where I could get more crew. Okay, so right now, so I can get +2 morale for the next 3 nodes. And I think that morale is what recharges my command points and the special crew abilities. Okay, so it looks like I didn't have the option to do anything besides that. Maybe sometimes that gives you the option to recruit crew. I'm not sure. But, okay, so we're headed into our first elite combat. So, it's a massive heat reading. It's a Starkin gunship. Okay, so this guy's got 3 slots, and one of them will happen, what, every time? Spin up. Every time chain burst is played, reduce the cooldown of chain burst attacks by 1 turn. So I don't see a chain burst attack. So this is a thing that makes another card more valuable, but right now it's not a threat. This is a threat. And this is +1 for each fortified card played, up to a... Oh, so each time they do this, it gets harder for me to penetrate and will last longer. Okay. So this is going to be tough. I've got nice shields of my own. So this says next turn enemy attacks deal less damage. So it seems like... Here, let's grab that sucker. It seems like I want to play that right before they attack. So I can just fire this missile at them. They're unshielded right now. Good time to do it. No reason not to. They're not going to fire... Yes, I'm going to keep the rest of these out. Mostly, this one, I feel like I need to hold on to it more because I now have an attack that costs a lot of green energy. So I want to make sure that I'm holding on to sources of green energy. So I guess we'll let him spin up. Here we go. Okay, so now he's got the chain burst. And it looks like the damage from that missile was just kind of distributed across these systems. So every time chain burst is played, reduce the cooldown of chain burst attacks by 1 turn. Okay, so I know. Okay, so this is a persistent card. They played this card. They don't have to play this card every time. They play it once, and it delays their first firing of chain burst, but it means that chain burst is going to get worse and worse and worse for me every time. Okay, got it. So next turn they're going to fortify and they're going to fire a laser pulse. But I've got a bunch of pulse lasers now. None of them are the one that upgrades all of their damage, unfortunately. Oh, and I wasn't thinking about my resources here. Oh, that sucks. That was a bad move. But I could do 2 of them, but not the 3rd. I can save paired pulse until I've got the catalyst up. And this will make them do less damage next turn, but I guess I don't really need them to do that much less damage because my shields are already going to be able to absorb them. So this is like just kind of an inefficient thing I'm considering doing here. Oh, by the way, so I've got full command points now. I should use command points at some point. So she can give me 4 shield points, 4 command points, which is good. But I think I'll save that for emergencies. Command points are very special. So, okay, so next turn I still am going to get shot. So let's go. Okay, so this is happening this next turn no matter what, right? Wait, we got 4 versus... No, I've got 4 and 6. No, but I can't fire both. I've got 4 and 4. So I can only do 8. Yeah, so no matter what, this is happening next turn. So let's not attack it. Let's attack Chain Burst, because maybe in the following turn I'll be able to take Chain Burst all the way out. Because the slower I make Chain Burst go, the better things are going to be for me. So let's... Blinding. Okay, so Laser Pulse is now reduced in impact. Fortify is going to go up. There's nothing I could have done about that. I forgot to fire Conservation. I'm an idiot. Okay, whatever. Let's throw up Rampart. So now we got massive shields. That was a waste right there. That was silly. Why? Wait, what did I do? I feel like... What is reducing my energy? Oh, did that card sap my income? I think it did. I think it did. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. End turn. So they fire at me, only do 2 damage. They put up a massive shield. Well, not massive. They put up an okay shield, but it's going to become a massive shield in the future. Next turn, they're going to get both of these ready at the same time, which is going to be a disaster for me. I think that this shield... Okay, so it had this thing on it called duration, which means it doesn't deplete the very first turn, because it had 1 duration, and that's what cost that extra energy. I think I've got enough of this for now, so let's max that out. So next turn I'll have 7. I've got Catalyst Pulse and Parried Pulse, so next turn I can take something down. I want Conservation when I do that. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to throw up another barrier, so that... Because next turn I will start having. And so that means that this will only be 3 shield points instead of 6. So I should delay all of this. Yeah, I'm delaying all of this. Okay, they're all charged up. Their shield went down by 3, but they're about to launch another one. And their shield is going to get bigger this time. So I need to fire at them through this shield. So I'm going to lose 3 from my attack. However, I can do 2 attack. I can do a Catalyst Pulse, which is 4 damage, plus a Parried Pulse, which is going to be 4 damage 2 times after the Catalyst Pulse. So I'm going to do 12 damage. 12 damage is not enough for this because I'm going to get shielded. But next attack does plus 50% damage. I could overload my Parried Pulse. And if that does plus 2, and if it's plus 2 applies to both attacks, then this is 6 of 6, and that will take down Fortify. And that could be cool, except my shield is only going to be at 10. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, my shield will be at 10. I could take down Fortify so he just doesn't have shields anymore. Because, yeah, this is... I kind of like the challenge of figuring out how to do that. Because with this shield going up, I think I can weather this attack. Of course, Chain Burst is going to get faster right afterwards. But it's also only got 6 defense, so I can take it out later. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference either way. So, yeah. I love all the things they're making me think about. All the math they're making me do. Okay, so. Let's try this. Let's turn on Conservation first. So I'm building up green energy for all the red energy I spend. Let's Catalyst Pulse this.
Enemy shield down.
Do very little damage to it, but their shields are down. And I'm going to prevent their shields from going up again by overloading cannons. And now dealing 6 damage twice. So now their next shield doesn't go up. Meanwhile, my shield does go up. I've got 10 defense against 4 and 3. So now they fire both of these things, but both bounce off my shield. And the ignite effect doesn't happen because they didn't do any damage. Chain Burst does, it's at 2 pips now. And so it's going to start firing like crazy. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do about that. It's got 6. And I've only got 4 of this resource. So it will fire in 2 turns if I don't do something about it. So... let's see here. So Blinding Pulse will reduce... these 2 are going to be synchronized. So I can reduce both of their damage with Blinding Pulse on the turn they attack. So let's save this one definitely for the turn they attack. I'll have 8 next time. So I'll be able to fire 2 pulses and a missile. But I want the missile to hit next turn at the same time as everything else. So let's fire the missile now. And then I'm going to have 6 next turn to fire a Blinding Pulse and a regular Laser Pulse. And I will have 7 of the green, which means I'll also be able to put up a barrier if I need to with the Blinding Pulse. Yes. Okay. End turn. He does nothing but charge up. And my missile hit him. His Fortify is still busted. It'll come back next turn. But, okay, so right now, he's going to hit me. Oh, and I did more damage to that stuff. Cool. He's going to hit me with that stuff. So, I'm going to hit him with a Blinding Pulse and a Laser Pulse. And I'm going to make sure that the chain burst is completely taken out by my first attack. So chain burst is not happening. Laser pulse is happening, but it's happening at much reduced impact. And then let's do a laser pulse to it too, just because we feel like it. And then it's still going to do that 2 damage, so let's put up our barrier to block that. And now we are just a disaster area when it comes to resources, but we don't have to do that much next turn. I think with its shield, their shield not coming up until a turn later, this laser pulse is going to take them the rest of the way out. So I think we're okay as long as we have at least 3 energy in the offensive category next turn. These guys are screwed. Okay, Fortify is back. Next turn, they are throwing their shields up. I've got to make it too late. And just for good measure, we'll do that. There we go. So, we beat an elite fight. We're adding a card. There's Echo Pulse again, which returns a laser card. Ordnance Surge. Okay. Big boost of the red stuff. That's what I kind of need. Most of my strategies involve saving up and firing a lot of red cards at once. Okay, so this is a thing that I can put in my resource bay that will add a card slot at the start of combat. Does it persist throughout combat? Sir, I was able to patch up our hull a little with some of the salvage we took off that ship. 4 hull points repaired. Joke's on you, I haven't taken any damage yet. So... Or have I? Did I just take some damage that I forgot about? I don't know. But basically, if I stick this in the res booster, I've now got a command unit here, which means I get an extra card slot. So can we make this go away now? Okay, so now my goal. We've been playing this for a while, so I probably am not going to try to get all the way to the end. But let's at least see if we can take out those 2 elite combats. So let's go over to the credit cache. The signal you picked up is from an encrypted credit cache that seems to lead to some debris of what was once a trading post. You quickly attempt to hack it with your onboard computer before anyone else picks up the signal and shows up. It's encrypted with a multi-layer lock. You manage to use the ship's computer to brute force your way past the first layer and access part of the available credits. Take the credits. Okay, great. So now we've got a second elite combat. It's an elite Solari gunship. Ooh, I've got a disadvantage in this fight. So I don't have as much resources up front. Oh, so yeah, my generation is down too. Wow, okay. Well, let's definitely do at least that much. Okay, so they got an opening shot. It's a flak shot, which means that... Okay, so these things, they do shred, and when they do shred to you, what that means is that future attacks by them also do more damage. This seems like a tougher guy than the last guy. I've got an Ordnance Surge I can do to get a whole bunch of attack capabilities, which means I can do a Catalyst Pulse and a Laser Pulse. That'll do 4 damage, and then 5 damage. I can do 9 damage to something. That's not going to be great, though. If I could do Rampart, that would be nice, because that could block all this damage, and maybe block the Shred? I don't know if it blocks the Shred. I mean, Barrier might do it. There's a decent chance of them getting past Barrier. So I might need to gain 2 of each resource from Lena. I think that's her name. I can also gain 4 shield points from her, but I think resources is probably what I'm missing right now. So let's do resources from her. And then I could also do Ordnance Surge, which gives me heat. And I'm not sure what effect that has. But that means that I can fire all of my weapons at once. Except I can only do a regular old barrier. I can't do Rampart and Catalyst Pulse at the same time. But I'm wondering... I'm hoping both of these cards go away and are replaced by slower cards, because this will be crazy if it's happening every single turn. So I think what I might want to do is... We'll fire this. That'll happen eventually. It'll knock something out. Okay, this is going to be upgrading all of their damage. And I can't do enough to any of these individual weapons to take it all the way down. So, before it fires. But maybe, if this is really going to be firing every turn, I think it's probably my priority. So let's fire at it, even though we can't take it all the way down this turn. Then we'll throw up our barrier. That's 6. That might block all of this, but just to be safe, and safe from the amount of shred this is about to do. Which I'm hoping that, just like with the Ignite thing we were seeing before, I'm hoping that shred also won't happen if you defend against all of the damage that's incoming. Oh! Teague suggests that... you're right, I could have done the damage increasing thing to make that thing go all the way down. You're right, that probably would have worked, and I didn't think of it. But I can at least do the defensive thing with her. Now, that means that I can't use any more command points this turn. But hopefully... It feels like this guy might have special cards for the beginning that are maybe replaced by weaker cards afterwards. And so maybe front-loading all of this effect is a good thing for me to do. So, he's going to fire twice at me. My shield should be able to absorb all of it. And yeah, I don't see any shred effect on me. My missile hits, but no. This guy's just going to keep doing this every turn. What in the world am I supposed to do about that? I'm just going to be taking damage after damage after damage. But this guy doesn't have any shields. So I need to keep my shields as up as I can. But really my focus should be on hammering this dude as much as I can. So he is going to damage me next time. But oh wait, but I've got some more reactor. Okay, so let's kick in conservation. Let's fire my star flare at him. Just because, why not? Like, he's not going to defend against anything. Let's just throw every damage at him that we can at every opportunity. And I couldn't have done anything better than that. So I'm going to... So let's raise this. Okay, so basically next turn, I'll be able to grab a laser pulse. Because I'll have 3. I'll be able to fire it at this. So even though I'm weathering this light barrage, I won't have to weather the next one. And I'll also have my barrier be able to throw up again. So this is going to be a massacre. But after this, I'll be able to throw my shields up again. So first damage of the round. Okay, minimal damage, but I'm pretty sure it had its shred effect, right? Didn't it? Oh, wait. Oh, my missile automatically did damage. Okay, it randomly did damage to the light barrage and put it on cooldown, so I don't have to manually go after it. That's good. Lighter rounds is about to happen. So, okay, so the maximum of these is about to go up. So, because I didn't focus on that, yeah, we're dealing with that nonsense. But I can still fire a laser pulse at this. Does it matter for me to throw a laser pulse at it? I guess, yeah, because I'll keep getting more cards. So my shield is non-existent, so I'm also going to want to throw a shield up. And I've got more resources coming in. Let's raise this, because I'm going to need to have defenses up as much as I can. So let's laser pulse this guy, and we'll be able to take it out all the way next turn. And then let's barrier ourselves. So only this will be firing at us, so the barrier will be enough. We're not taking damage this turn. And my heat is going down. Again, not sure what that does. Barbed shrapnel. +1 flak damage, max damage for every 2 enemy shred points. Again, where is my... If shred is on me, where is it? Where is my shred? I don't know. That feels like something somebody would ask me at the gym. Where is your shred? I don't know. Okay, so again, I can just fire... I could fire a catalyst pulse, but with no purpose because I won't be able to fire a second pulse. So I might as well just fire another laser pulse. Ooh, flak reload. Okay, so they can fire multiple times, but then they have to reload. So again, I think if I hit that, I could maybe get them. I guess I won't get them off cadence. I should not try to hit them this turn with this. Because I might actually, like, they're not going to be shooting me next turn. I should go after them the turn they're going to shoot me, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter. It's just delaying it the same amount either way. It's not like I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's take him down. Leaves a hole in my hand, which is good. And end turn. Okay, got another laser pulse. They're not going to be able to do anything except barbed shrapnel. So next turn, this is going to get ready. I've got another turn to keep building up my attacks. I want to use my catalyst pulse. So what I'm thinking is, let's build up for another turn. We'll be able to fire catalyst pulse, laser pulse, and not one other thing. Dang. Catalyst pulse and paired pulse. We'll be able to do catalyst pulse and paired pulse. That will be powerful. We can use that to take down barbed shrapnel. So I think for right now, that's all I want to do. I think I want to wait to do anything else. So let's just end my turn. Build up my resources. Okay, light barrage is coming back. Shields are going back down, but I can defend against light barrage with a barrier. Let's do that first. Because flak reload's not coming back anytime soon, so this is good enough. And then I can catalyst and paired against barbed shrapnel, so the flak doesn't get worse. Because that is, how much damage is that? 4 damage. It's 12 damage. I could actually take this down. This will get more powerful if I let this go through. But only if he's getting shred on me, which again, I can't tell if I've got any shred on me. I think taking this down is actually more valuable. Let's do that. Let's take down light barrage. There we go. And their overall hull is getting lower. My resources are getting significantly lower. Actually, let's make sure we have 4 next turn, just because. 4 green. So that we can use Rampart if we need to ever. Okay, flak reload is coming back. Capacitor, never a reason not to use capacitor. Okay, so now we don't think we need as much of that coming in. In fact, we've got all of that we could possibly want. Blinding pulse affects them immediately, and so I just don't want to waste that right now. I mean, yeah, I think the only thing that makes any sense to do right now is this. Wait, let's find out what shaped charge is. Reduce shredding requirement by 1 this turn. I don't even know what that is. Okay, I don't know what that means. And because I don't know what it means, I'm going to not take it seriously enough. So I'm just going to go after that. But yeah, I don't need shields this turn. So I think let's... And there's only 1 card that can come in, so I don't need to save space. So let's just keep going. Okay, reload has happened. So now they've got opening shot available. Oh, I didn't think about my... Oh, crap. I didn't think about my resources. I can't fire anything this turn because I wasn't thinking about my resources. So they're going to be able to fire at me. I guess I can use a... Rampart is better if I don't have a shield right now. So let's use barrier instead.
Reactors overheating.
Oh! Reactors overheating. What does that do? We'll find out. Overheat. At the start of your turn, receive 1 hull damage per overheat point. At the end of your dissipate 1 heat. Okay. So I don't know what it is that has been giving me heat. Is it just cards I play? So I'm going to take damage from myself. which is very clever. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like the heat dissipates before the damage happens. Okay, so you can go over by 1. That's interesting. Okay, so now both of their weapons are up and running again. So what can I do about that? Rampart does give me 10 shield points no matter what. So that'll protect me this next round. My heat is very high, though. If I were to fire everything, which I don't think I can do. Oh, wait, I can make them do less damage to me, but that's not going to do enough. Because my shield is only 2. So I think I need to throw up my Rampart shield, no matter what. And that leaves me 6 and 4. So I can fire 2 laser pulses at them. That can take this down. Which means, do I need Rampart? Yeah, I think I need Rampart no matter what. Okay, so let's do Rampart. That raises my shields a ton. Welcome back, Laconacion. So yeah, I guess I'll fire 2 laser pulses at them. And then next turn... Next turn I'll have very little going on here. This shield is gonna persist though. So if I take down one of their weapons, this shield will last through 2 attacks. So what I'm thinking is I need to get one of these so I can throw up another shield in the future. I think this is just, I'm going to have 4 next turn. That's enough for the paired pulse. Or for the blinding pulse if that's what I need. So yeah, so let's fire both laser pulses at that. So now they're doing, I could have done this. What's wrong with me? Okay, whatever. But I didn't get heat. What gives me heat? I need to figure out what gives me heat. Okay, this will work-ish. So they're going to fire that at me. Very little impact. They're at 7. This almost does enough damage. All by itself. But not quite. So this is going to fire at me, but again, my shield is very likely to defeat them. So... I think... Let's do paired pulse. On this. They are so close to death, but there's nothing I can do about it. They fire at me. Good. Okay, they rolled low. And now they're upgrading themselves again. But now I can fire one more shot at them and take them out. Only 2 hull damage from a guy who front loads a ton of attack. That makes me feel good. We can add a card. Shield amplifier. Gain 10 shield points if you're already shielded. I was in that situation a few times. Oh, this is just gain 4 of that stuff. Okay, and then another blinding pulse. I kind of like the one I've got. Let's go shield amplifier. And then I get defense protocol, which is something goes on the shield generator. Reduces the energy cost of shield cards from this equipment by 2. Oh, interesting. Okay. So while I'm unshielded, it's cheap to throw a shield up. But while I'm shielded, it's more expensive. I like that idea. That's kind of cool. Because Rampart is great for that. The card I just got is terrible for that. But Rampart is great for that because it also wants you to be unshielded. And it's expensive. Okay. So we've got the combat logs for our unknown contact. And we've got a bunch of credits. And... yeah, so he must be nearby, but he's cloaked. Let's look at our ship. Wait, did I... what happened to the thing did I fail to collect the thing? I know you need Dang it, you need to click a thing to get a thing. I think I accidentally left that cargo in space instead of obtaining it. I think. Because it should be in my cargo bay, right? Oh, that's very frustrating. La Coalición? No, I don't want to do a Super Bowl bet right now. But yeah, I'll have to roll back the video at some point and see what I did. I think, because yeah, that shield thing looked really cool. And I think I just was not comprehending the UI correctly. And I think I neglected it. So that's frustrating. But anyway, so we have been streaming this for about an hour, and we've gotten halfway through this run. We completed that side objective, which makes me feel very cool. And so now we'll be headed up this way, and the way things have been going, I feel like I've got a pretty decent shot of getting to the end. But this is also just a Next Fest demo. You can go out and play this yourself, so I don't feel like I actually need to show you all the way to the end of this run. I'll probably play through the rest of this run myself, and then I'll probably hold off until the full game comes out and try it then, because I mean, this feels like it's scratching the same itch as, like, say, Slay the Spire or Cobalt Core, but it also, like, the story that they're telling here and the world that they're creating is more compelling, I think, than either of those examples. It feels a little bit like closer to FTL in terms of like defining these factions and making these situations happen on the ground that feel interesting. Cobalt Core is pretty cute and funny, but it's most of its storytelling is jokes, and it's not like the same kind of let's create a world that you live in. This has got let's create a world that you live in, and I like having that layer to it. Kind of like this feels kind of like Griftlands, actually. I'd probably compare this the most to Griftlands so far from my experience, because it's simultaneously giving you this deck building roguelike with a sort of journey through this world, but it's having you get to know the world along the way at the same time, in a way that you don't always necessarily get with deck builders. So CMC Passerby says, I like how they brought regular like space game mechanics into the card game, like power shunting and targeting systems. Exactly. No, you're absolutely right, and thank you for calling that out. The fact that I can target individual systems on the enemy, and that I can power my individual systems in different ways using different resources is so familiar to people who play games like X-Wing and TIE Fighter and stuff like that. Like, that really does appeal to sort of that part of that nostalgic part of my memory. And I don't tend to play a lot of like really serious space simulators, but I know that's a huge part of the ones that people do play. Now and then I've played one and really gotten into it, and this is very familiar that way. But yeah, that is one of my favorite things about like really abstracted games like this, because like some of the problems you have to solve there are not about how do I directly replicate this fantasy for the player. It's more, how do I take a thing that the player's imagining and make it feel like they're making the same decisions, but in a highly abstracted way. So nice work, makers of Breachway. This is a really cool game. I'm looking forward to when the full thing is out, and I can try it out then. But I'm going to have to get out of here. So there is a subscribe button and links to other videos if you're watching this later on YouTube. I thought I was going to play more Next Fest demos today, but this one took a long time. But that's fine. I think it was worth it.